This was like almost nobody can even believe that this happened, but the actual House Judiciary GOP account, which is presumably run by Jim Jordan,
I can't.
wrote, breaking, Epstein files released, and then they included a link, which obviously was to make people think if you click this link, you're going to see the Epstein files. It was a freaking Rickroll, you guys. It was a Rick Astley video.
Yeah.
And so,
never gonna give you up. What's that? That's what you got.
So
who's getting fired?
People were so mad about this.
As we should be. Like, listen, you're making light of a guy who trafficked 12-year-old girls. See, girls as young as 12. He had on that island, like servicing his friends. He's a freaking pedophile. To make light of this is, I could not believe that happened yesterday.
I know.
I could not.
Who's
getting fired?
Somebody's got to get fired because this was absolutely out of control.
Fire all these people. Right.
And then, like, I'm always trying to play devil's advocate. Like, I always want to understand.
Yeah.
So
you're the good cop. You're good cop. I'm bad cop. Right.
The only thing that I can think of to try to get inside the brain of whoever thought this was a good idea was that they were mocking how this had been built up with all the binders, and it turned out to be a nothing burger, and they were mocking that. But this was not the way.
No,
this was not the way to do it.
Totally not the way to do it. And that person needs to go because it just made the GOP look terrible.
Really, really bad. Christina Pusha, one of the people complaining, saying, as a Republican and more importantly, as an American who is no stranger to online trolling, I find this distasteful.
Yeah,
the trafficking and rape of children is not a joke.
She's 100% correct. Mm-hmm. She is. It's a
distasteful.
One. That probably wouldn't have been the word that I used, distasteful, but it's true. It is distasteful.
Yeah. Yashar Ali said if Democrats had promised the release of files related to a notorious pedophile and sex trafficker and the House Democrats posted a Rickroll, God help them. People would be right to attack them.
Right.
And they would.
Yeah, they would. We're right to point out that this is just terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, and Xavier, who, again, you're going to see our interview with him tomorrow. He said, this just pisses me off so bad. We are sitting here waiting for the names responsible for elitist child sex trafficking, and you take this as an opportunity for a sick joke. Fuck all the way off.
I know, right?
So, I mean, how do you
agree with him? Yep.
Yeah. So then it gets even weirder, okay? Because then we finally hear from Kash Patel, which also became a whole weird thing on its own. But before we show you Kash's tweet, we do want to remind everybody about the mega sale at mypillow.com/chicks right now. Huge, huge sale, particularly on the towels, which is our favorite product that MyPillow carries. I mean,
and
I know
flannel
sheets. Pillows.
Flannel sheets are on sale too, I think.
Yeah. I know we're supposed to like say that our favorite product is the pillows, and they're great. But the towels
are my favorite too. The towels are fantastic.
It just doesn't get any better.
It doesn't. Right. I don't think people understand how awesome they are.
I don't know how to convey it any harder.
You just need to get a set and then understand, and then you'll be buying them for everybody.
Yeah. And then you'll be like, why did I wait so long?
Right. And today's a good time to do it. Today is the greatest time to spend money and do it. So
absolutely. Check out mypillow.com/chicks. Don't forget to use code chicks. You'll get free shipping on every single order. Okay, so Kash Patel, everybody's waiting to hear from Kash Patel, especially after Pam Bondi sends him that sternly worded letter. So, right? Yep. So at 5:38 p.m., he tweets this. You can go ahead and read it.
The FBI is entering a new era, one that will be defined by integrity, accountability, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. There will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued and brought to justice. If there are gaps in the Epstein investigation, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them, and we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. The oath we take is to the law and the Constitution, and under my leadership, that promise will be upheld without compromise. Please keep in mind that there's a sentence there that says, if there are gaps in the Epstein investigation, we will find them. Did you guys see that?
And also keep in mind that it says this will be swiftly pursued and brought to justice.
Right. Just keep that in mind. That was at 5:38 p.m. He did that.
Right. So I'm texting our group and I'm like, oh, you guys, Kash just tweeted. And Spencer, our Indian correspondent, says, I don't see anything. There's nothing on his. And I'm like, wait, was this fake? And then I immediately freaked out because I'd already like planned to include this, right? Well, for some reason, it was taken down and then replaced by an updated version of this exact same tweet,
right,
without the two phrases that we just pointed out to you.
So like about a half hour, 35 minutes later, this was put out. And you see,
so there's not going to be brought to justice. They're not specifying the Epstein case
no
anymore.
Epstein stuff is in here. Yeah. What happened? A very interesting question, right? Like, why did he do this? Why did he do this? Yeah. Within like 35 minutes, he was like, oh shit, I got to put up another tweet. Why? It's weird.
Everything that could have been effed up yesterday
was
effed up.
Yep.
I mean, it just looks so bad on everybody's part.
It
just
does. Indeed.
I think Nick Freitas was also weighing in on this. And so he's always a voice of reason to me. We love us some Nick Freitas. And so here he is weighing in on the debacle.
All right. Social media has been blowing up, and I think it has something to do with, that right there. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Yeah, I was in the room when Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI, were handing these out. And right off the bat, one of the first things they said was, we're going to be releasing this to the public. What you need to understand is that there really isn't a smoking gun in the new information that we have available, except for the fact that it has become evident that certain members of the FBI have been withholding information from the Attorney General's office. Now, the AG has been pursuing this, but now we have a new director of the FBI, Kash Patel. So what we finally have is an Attorney General and a director of the FBI that actually wants to get to the bottom of this and will hold accountable not only the people on the Epstein list, but the people within the government who have been withholding key information in order to subvert prosecution. Now, as information becomes available, they have to be careful because they have to weigh what they need to get out to the public at the same time that they're going to need to be able to prosecute certain individuals. So I understand that. Here's what I'm saying. I know we're all frustrated about this because we should have had a lot more information a lot sooner. But I genuinely believe that we have people in power now that want to do something about it. And quite frankly, I'm willing to let them cook.
Okay. Well, then don't
explain.
Don't promise the files and then not deliver. You know,
don't make a blinder.
It's like, I think Juanita Broderick tweeted the other day, listen, people wouldn't be mad if they would just say, this is the reason that they haven't been released yet. And I totally agree with that. It's like, just that's transparency, is saying to the American people, hey, so we haven't, this is what's happening with the FBI. They're a bunch of schmucks because they've been like hiding all this information. We're trying, let us cook, kind of like what he says, let us cook. And I would have been completely fine with that. I would have been, but don't say, hey, we're going to give you all this information and then don't do it. Because that's
and then make a production out of having no information. Like that's the part that I'm just like,
you gotta, you lose the American people. Because again, it goes back to the whole, Biden and friends thought we were really stupid. Democrats think that Americans are stupid. We're not. And that's one thing that I think Trump does right, is he understands that the American people are not stupid. We understand what's going on. We want to completely tear down the deep state. And so just be freaking honest with us, man. Right. I mean, I'm like that, like in my personal life. I know all you guys are too, right? So you just want people to be straight with you. Just be straight with us.
And don't create or manufacture all these PR.
Right. Just
whatever that was.
Then you look like Democrats. Just stop,
Yeah.
Be
God. Jesse Waters also dug into SDNY a little bit on his show last night. Here he is.
So who's in charge at the New York FBI field office? Who's withholding Epstein docs from the Attorney General? James Dennehy is running the show there. There he is. This is the guy who emailed his whole staff to dig in after Trump took office. And don't forget that James Comey's daughter is an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York.
That's right.
She worked on the Epstein and Maxwell cases. She's kind of knee deep in this. Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records, file cabinets, and photographs from all of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons Where are those files? You remember where Epstein killed himself? I asked Bill Barr about that, why everything seemed to go wrong that night.
Yeah.
When I first heard all the information and all the coincidences here, I was suspicious.
What were the coincidences? I mean, those were a lot of coincidences.
Well, one of the cameras was out.
Right.
He was supposed to have a cellmate. The cellmate left. They didn't replace the cellmate.
Okay.
And the guards who were supposed to check him every half hour didn't check him.
My EMT source said he was on the scene immediately to pull Epstein's body out to the morgue. And when he got to the cell, he saw 7 people there touching Epstein's body and moving stuff around.
Unbelievable. It's just, I mean, it's believable, but also unbelievable, right? And I'm old enough to remember when Epstein had banking privileges and Mike Lindell didn't. So
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting how that works in our government, you know? So yeah.
Everything is so shady.
Borked. It's borked, as you would say.
It is really, really borked.
They need to unbork it pretty quickly, you know?
So, you know, love Pam Bondi. I think she created a lot of unnecessary problems for herself yesterday. She went on Mark Levin's show last night to try to do some damage control. Here she is.
We released about 120 pages of documents, and I started asking for these documents right when I came into office and before Kash Patel was in there. So I ended up getting about 120 pages. We carefully redacted them, of course, to be sure the 254 young girls, women who are victims of sex crimes and sex trafficking, their personal information was redacted and out of there to protect them. So I'm going through it and I kept saying, there has to be more, there has to be more. I'm assured that's it. Kash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. We will redact it, of course, to protect grand jury information and confidential witnesses, but the American people have a right to know. And Donald Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history. So not only will America get the full Epstein files, they will get JFK, they will get Martin Luther King.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just do it, because Clinton was on the Lolita Express 26 times in 2 years. Like at the very
I'm sure
least.
that's completely on the up and up.
Oh, I'm sure. Because there was a bet on that plane. I mean, this is the thing.
Ew.
Like, I'm sure he was just traveling for business or doing, I don't even know, post-presidential things. It was 2001 to 2003. So in 2 years, he was on that. I want to see the flight logs at the very least. Like, I know that like they put that out there, but put out why these people traveled with him. Like, why? I mean, you can say, okay, well, Clinton, maybe he was just hitching a ride somewhere. And I know some people hitched rides with that guy. Okay. But 26 times in 2 years, what were you doing on that plane? I'd like to know. And
this is all. I saw somebody commenting, Pam Bondi is not the problem. Like, she wants what we want. I believe that. I believe her heart is pure. I believe her intentions are fine. But she created the spectacle yesterday, and there was no reason for the spectacle. That's the point.